Another day and another empire. Will this be the one when we become an empire? Well, if you know how to read, then you'll already know from the title that the answer is yes. But when does that happen, and how, and under what king? Well, let us all find out together. Our kingdom is already looking quite healthy with significant territory and only one son, so that means our territory will not be split between multiple people. King Zachariah II the Cannibal has done well, but of course he will not be satisfied. Like his ancestors, he is here with the specific purpose of reforging the Roman Empire and doing whatever is necessary in his pursuit of that. And so he must invade. He must take more land. It is an imperial imperative. Of course, a lot of people want what we already have, so a lot of our time has to be spent fixing potential problems and dealing with potential rivals, mostly surviving them, before we finally invade the Duchy of Seville. Somehow, we have this tiny plot of land that's like split off, and this was really the land that's splitting it off. Also, remember how I said people wanted our land? Well, some people just want to be away from us, and as we're fighting this war, they rebel. So rude. Didn't stop us from winning the war and merging those territories though, before we turn our armies east towards the rebels. They outnumber us 3-2, but they are rebels, and we are a professional army, so they are suitably and quickly repressed. With that done, I see an interesting option I've never seen before, the ability to commission an epic. I don't know what this will do for us, but I'm intrigued. And I'm also rich, so fuck it. While that's being written, we declare war on Croatia? Well, if we do this, we can get a port on the other side of the Adriatic Sea, which would be very useful for us. It does make sense. The epic is finished while we're there, and it's a grand epic. But as I got royally arse-kicked by a kingdom a fraction of my size, I naturally reloaded and just pretended it never happened. Instead, we go to war against Hungary. We have territory here, we have for a while, and we're always looking to expand. That war is long and arduous, and during that time, I learned many things, like the fact I have a nudist spy master. But we are eventually victorious. It was a hard battle for a very small amount of land, but it is progress. I decided to make some more progress with a war against Ashir, and then literally as I'm thinking about it, it gets absorbed by one of my own lords. Lol. Okay, well, it's mine now anyway. It's during this time I discover we have heresy on our North African shores. Adamitism, specifically, is a heresy. This is one of the rarest religions in CK3, and also one that lots of people like to make YouTube videos about, and somehow it's popped up in our realm. This does explain the nudist spy master, and I'll probably have to suppress this religion eventually, because it is heresy, but it is cool. I like seeing it. I like that we've got this rare religion without even trying. Moving on from our nudist heretical subjects, it's time to suppress Salade, and by that I mean conquer. It shoots itself in the foot as we're invading though, literally fragmenting as we're doing so, and making the conquest really easy. We then immediately take Yalala, another piece that splits off from it, and that, we've done it. We've done it. With that taken, we can now finally create a new empire. That was our goal. And now we are an emperor. Now we have an empire. Oh yes. Sorry, I got a bit excited there. My Britishness was showing. But it's been our goal for so long. With this, we will remain emperor no matter what. Even if we lose all our kingdom titles, as we die, our descendants will remain emperors and we will remain a single unified empire. This is what we've been needing most of all. I'm so happy we have it. Anyway, we celebrate by taking Tinduf, I don't know how to say it, a little piece of Spain that was part of Salade before they split. We are really picking on and wrecking that little country, aren't we? Anyway, being that we are now an empire, I feel it's time to change our name, and we become the Roman Empire. I also change our crest, but yeah, I'm not a fan. Next time I play, I change it again and make it a lot better. Now, onwards. New African War, because those countries are all tiny and it's really easy to win. Once that's done though, we have a serious issue. Treason! A plot is afoot against me to remove me from Duke Marku II. He hates us, but we managed to convince him with a kingdom. Yes, we make him king. It does make him more powerful, but if he likes us, he won't rebel. A lot of people don't like us because we keep partaking in offensive wars, but we have to. The only way we can expand. With that being said, let's go to war against Castile. And it always seems to be, when we have a war with Spain, our people rise up. And then King Marku rises up again. Okay, with all that I reload, the risk is too great, and we go out of our way to make sure that Marku isn't able to take our kingdom. We then go to war against Navarre, carving out some more land and putting down another rebellion, all while dealing with the rebels. And in the end, Marku appears again. This man is a problem. It's time we murder him. Murder is not usually how I do things, but with him, I feel like we have little choice. As we plot the murder, we go to war against Hungary to further expand our holdings there. As we invade the country, we do it. Duke Marku, who we even made a king to keep him happy, is dead. Hallelujah. Of course, we'll keep having issues with his son and his family, but at least that particular one is done. I end up giving up the Hungarian war, not because I can't win it, but because I have 2 rebellions to put down. Why don't my people love me? Well, if they cannot love me, then they will despair. We put in our allies and we put them down one after the other. And again, guess what happens now? Duke Marku wants to overthrow us. But this time it's his son, who's also called Marku. Instead of murdering this one, though, we make a friend. We also pass ultimate crown authority, taking as much power as humanly possible. We also make a permanent ally, by this time giving the Kingdom of Sardinia to Gina. Anyway, to war with France. Why? Because one of our Italian territories was inherited by the Queen of France, and she took it with her. And well, we would have done that quickly, if not for the fact we died. 81 is a grand old age though, especially in the 1200s, and now we have an Emperor Christopher to take the throne. Considering he is both named and styled after me, I'm happy with that. Anyway, we quickly marry the Queen of Navarre, giving us a nice permanent ally, appoint our council, and then the war with France. And as we fight, we get excommunicated? Why? It's never explained. Later on, though, we're told that my marriage with my queen is consanguineous. That's not an easy one to say. I had to look that up. Basically, it means we're related, which is true, but we're a good few generations apart. It really should be fine. Legally, these days, it would be. Anyway, we just ask our priest to pretend this never happened. Then we have our child. Woo! Technical incest. Anyway, it takes time, but we do eventually get France defeated. We get our land back, and now we must get unexcommunicated. It's not cheap, but excommunication means our subjects, our kings, our dukes, all have the ability to easily overthrow us, and all other kingdoms and empires will have the right to conquer us without any cause. We have to give them land. We actually lose a couple of our Spanish holdings to the papacy, but as a result of doing that, we do get back our non-excommunicated status. And then we learn that Gina is a bastard. My character's sister is actually the daughter of someone our mother had an affair with, and we made her a queen based on that false heritage. Whoops. Oh well, kind of a done deal now. Anyway, back to what we're good at. Specifically a war against Galicia for what would be a piece of modern-day Portugal. It's a nice chunk too, so I'm very happy to have it. And then wars really break out on the Iberian Peninsula. First, our queen wants and gets Castile. At the same time, we go to war with Leon for more territory. As our wars go, it was a bloody long one. We actually had multiple children during that time. But eventually we take a tiny chunk of land. Considering what we got out of it and how long it took, it wasn't really worth it. What happens next is quite confusing. We go to war for some more territory, that's not unusual. But then we inherit 2 more wars. Huh? That makes no sense. And then it clicks. The Queen of Aragon, an ally and relative, has passed away, and we've inherited her kingdom, which means we have the northeast of Spain and a piece of France too. Queen Julie had wars though, and we've inherited those too. None were actually her wars though, they were all just wars defending France against invaders. As we're continuing our own war, France just sort of collapses. We have relatives there, but it's not a major concern of France not being unified. It's actually very helpful for us when we take it, especially considering we do now own French lands. Anyway, we do eventually take their land, and we now control the Straits of Gibraltar, both sides of it, which is a symbolic win more than a practical one, but I'm still happy. Our eyes also spy a tiny kingdom having appeared in Spain, so naturally we swallow it whole. As that is done, we now have a son and heir. That son shall be named, of course, Dweegington. It's a grand name for a future emperor. For now, though, he's just a child. We still have some living to do. And conquering too. We swallow another emirate and our African holdings. Damn. We don't have all the coast like the Empire, or like the Roman Empire did, but ours goes south far more than the original. And now we decide to take a risk. The Holy Roman Empire. With our allies, we are technically stronger and we have a claim. I don't know how taking this works and whether or not that's a good idea, but we'll give it a go. All our allies get called on and the war starts really well. We take the capital almost immediately. Turns out our enemy is fighting the Byzantines and his troops are occupied. In fact, it works really well. So well that we win. We are now the Holy Roman Empire and the Roman Emperor. And then we learn why that was a terrible idea. Securing it like this, instead of just ripping it apart but just taking it whole, means we're stuck with the voting system that it had. Which means that although we have it, our sons won't get it. A new emperor will be elected, and also now we have a ton of people who hate us because they used to serve the old emperor. This was a bad call, so we reload. I decided to go to war against them again, since apparently we can win this, but this time just for the island of Corsica. This time, of course, though, they have to have their shit together. Of course, we couldn't just have this little island, could we, huh? They defend the bloody island better than they did the whole empire. We can't win, so I guess we don't get it for now. That's really annoying. And on that disappointment, it's time to leave. The war might have been a disappointment, but this episode definitely was not. We are now an empire. We made significant expansion in Spain and Africa, as well as some in Hungary, and we also now own pieces of France. Next time, well, we'll continue our conquest, of course, but we have a new rival. And our new rival is the country we used to play as. Britannia, the Empire of Britannia. So this will be interesting. And of course, I'll see you then.